Today, Kevin and I are going to be trying 4 different brands of coffee cakes. We have the Drake's, we have Little Debbie,
Hostess, and then Baker's Treat, which is Aldi.
This was a requested video, and someone specifically requested that we try the Aldi brand versus other brands. And I would have thought we had tried them, but I couldn't find where we had tried them at all. So I know that the Drake's, they're mini muffins, but still they're coffee cake. And so we can tell you, we might decide we would rather eat the mini muffins over one of the other ones. So you just never know how it's going to turn out, but we wanted to give them a shot. So the Aldi, the Baker's Treat from Aldi were $2.85.
But you get 8 cakes.
Yes, so for $2.85 for 8 cakes, that's good. The Hostess was $1.68 at Walmart.
You get 2 cakes.
The Little Debbie was $1.98 at Buc-ee's.
And you get 2 cakes in that one too. They look a little bigger.
And the Drake's were $3.99 at Meijer. Of course, that's for a whole box. You're getting 20 little mini muffins. Meijer is really the only place around us that sells Drake's cakes. So when we saw them, we're like, oh, we have to try these. We did not see any. Drake's might sell square cakes like that. They didn't have them at Meijer. If they do, they only had these kind of coffee cakes. So that's why we got them. Okay, so we're going to be trying the Drake's first.
They don't want you to open them.
No. You're taking up, you're getting some calories out when you open the box. Okay. Okay, so they look like other little mini muffin packages. Drake's Coffee Cake Mini Cake Bites. Moist, cinnamony, delicious. 5 pouches. It says new. I'm sure we have tried these on the channel. There is a word search, which I love. These are made by MacLeod, which is Little Debbie.
Oh, okay.
So Little Debbie.
Yeah, I think they bought them.
Yeah, Little Debbie is making the Drake's. So it says 1 pouch, 48 grams is 190 calories.
That's for all 4.
That's for 4, yeah.
I like the amount of sugar and cinnamon on that.
I do too.
It's a nice texture too.
Yeah, the texture is interesting. I think it's the cinnamon. It's a little drier, but not in a bad way. It's not like a dry piece of bread or something like that. It's just...
it's not like it's dried out.
No, it's not dried out. It's just not as moist as like a chocolate chip mini muffin or
they're almost wet and sticky.
Yeah, they're wet and sticky. This isn't like that, and I think it's because the cinnamon has sopped some of that moistness up. I actually really like the texture of these and the flavor.
And it's got a little bit of like a sugary kind of crusty kind of texture on the top.
Yes, I actually think these are quite delicious.
Yeah, they're really
and I would eat those anytime.
So it'll be interesting to see if the other ones are going to compete.
Okay, so we're going to try the Little Debbie next, which is they make the Drake's. So this is cinnamon streusel cakes, coffee cakes. So these are the only Little Debbies that we could find. We could not find the Little Debbie in the box, right, of these coffee cakes. Yeah, and so then this was the one from Buc-ee's, and we're like, oh, well, we'll get, because we had looked in all the stores around us, and we just didn't see boxes. So these are 1 cake, 56 grams is 240 calories.
It's a big cake.
Yes.
It's big.
So we're not...
It feels dry as can be. You know how dry that feels? Feel that.
Yeah.
It feels dry.
I don't mind it though, because that Drake's was so delicious. So there's no, other than cinnamon streusel cakes, coffee cakes, there's no other description on here.
Here, I'll cut this out.
Yeah, because then it'll be the same size as our little muffin.
It's not as dry as I thought it was going to be. It's still dry, but it's not as dry.
It's a lot. It's a lot thicker and a lot denser.
Denser, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not sweet either.
And it doesn't have as much cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
And it has, I do like the little pieces.
The
It has
crumble.
like these little crumble pieces. Like if you were to get like a pie or a cobbler or
the
something.
streusel.
I like that streusel. But cinnamon to cinnamon,
Yeah.
the Drake's has twice as much cinnamon.
Even sweetness.
And yes, I like the Drake's more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're mini muffins.
And they're mini muffins, and I like the texture of their Drakes and everything. And it's funny, they're both made by McKee.
Yeah.
But those.
Well, I'm guessing the Drake's is following the Drake's recipe, whereas these are following the Little Debbie recipe.
Well, the Drakes have more cinnamon.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
It's overall just a better cake, honestly, because
It is.
the Little Debbie is more of a denser, drier cake.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's okay. I mean, you could eat them, but it's not as good.
Okay, now the Hostess. The Hostess were the ones from Walmart, $1.68. We had actually put a whole box of the Hostess in our buggy.
Yeah, about the same size as
The
the
same
baker's
size
choice.
as the Aldi. So they do have full-size boxes of these Hostess. And then we got up front, and Kevin's like, oh, we could just buy one of these singles instead of buying a whole box. Because the only reason we're buying them is for this review. Anything that's left over, we give away. So why would we spend the money on a whole box when we could just buy one? So this says 2 cakes is 340 calories. So it's going to be 170 calories per cake.
Wet.
It looked a little wet through there. Baked with real cinnamon, cinnamon streusel.
You want
Cut that in half, yeah. And if I want more, I'll get more. But then it's going to be about the same size as the little mini muffin.
okay.
Is it old?
Oh, tastes kind of like mulch. You know, mulch in your flower beds.
It's not good.
No, that's not good. That's horrible. It tastes like rubber. You get a rubbery kind of plasticky kind of flavor?
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
It's bad.
it's terrible. You know, these have
Bitter,
always
too.
been my go-to coffee cakes, though.
I know, you don't realize how bad they are until you compare them to other things.
Oh, yeah, that has a horrible flavor.
That's awful.
Um,
It literally tastes like a burnt plastic to me.
we just bought these. We just bought
Yeah,
these.
brand new.
But to be fair, I cannot read the date on it. The date I can read, it's this year, it's 2025, but I cannot read the month on here because it's like rubbed off. But when we bought them, I did check the dates and the dates were fine. So I do know for sure. And so by me touching it or whatever, somehow I'm just not seeing the date anymore. I know this is a good cake though, but it tastes old. It tastes horrible.
Yeah, like I said, burnt plastic.
It tastes almost moldy to me. I hate that.
It's very, very bad.
Okay, now let's move on and get something else in our mouth.
Please.
This has a pull tab. This is the Baker's Treat coffee cakes. This is the Aldi. And these are 170 calories per cake too. So these are the exact same calories
They look
per cake
Just like that.
as the Hostess.
They don't look anything like that picture. I mean, nothing like that picture. Look. Whatever streusel they have is on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing on the top. It looks like there's nothing on the top.
It does not look like the
It's
picture.
got some cinnamon on the side.
He's right. It doesn't look like the picture.
If you were to ask somebody which one's which, you'd have a hard time identifying which
They
one's
do
which.
look just like the
I mean,
Hostess.
Coloring and everything's the same.
Does that mean they're going to taste that bad?
Oh.
Because I've always told people, I really like the Hostess coffee cakes. I don't remember them tasting like that.
They're better, but the cinnamon is The cinnamon's very, very bitter.
For me, the difference, the biggest difference is in the texture. The texture of these, the actual cake. Now, I'm not talking about the streusel because the streusel does have some crispiness to it.
Yeah, sugary.
But the cake almost feels like a really squishy pillow.
Or sponge.
Yeah, and it's really like
It's like
tasty.
memory foam.
Yes, yes, like memory foam. It's like one of those toys that you like to play
squeeze
with
and
in
it
the
kind of
toy
goes
bar.
back out slowly. Yeah.
That's what it feels like
It
in
is.
your mouth. It
Yep.
feels like that texture, like that you squeeze and it stays
That
in
and the
place
Hostess,
and
both
it goes
of them.
like that.
Both of them are like that.
Yeah, that's the texture of that. So I do not like the texture at all. If you buy these from Aldi all the time, it's what you're used to. And that goes for any of these reviews when we're comparing something. If you're used to it, if that's all you buy, of course you're gonna like it. So if you choose the Aldi version, I don't want anybody to ever think that we're putting you down for choosing them or that we don't respect your opinion or whatever you're
like you
feeling or
said, the
whatever.
Hostess has always been your go-to.
And it's horrible. It's
Yeah.
absolutely terrible. And I don't know if it's because we bought it in that little package and not in a box.
No, because honestly, the aftertaste of the Aldi tastes exactly the same.
I've always bought the Hostess in the box. I've never bought it like that
It's the same
before.
thing.
But I know it should be the exact same thing. And it's absolutely terrible. I did not get the same flavor from these as
It's not
I
as
did.
it's not as bad, but
Uh-huh.
it is very bitter cinnamon.
Yes.
When it settles in, that Aldi brand is very bitter too.
It almost burns.
Yeah, the Hostess was just funky. I mean, it was just like bad.
Yeah.
Like I said, burnt plastic. This doesn't taste like burnt plastic. It just tastes like a really bitter cinnamon with not a lot of sweetness. So I would pick those over the Hostess for sure.
Yes.
But
But I wouldn't buy them again. I wouldn't buy them again.
Not when I have the option of buying the Little Debbie's or these Drakes.
It would not surprise me if the Aldi and the Hostess weren't made in the exact same
With a
factory.
little bit different recipe.
It would not surprise me at all because the Hostess and the Aldi are they're so close. I bet you anything they're made in the same
Yeah.
factory. But the surprise of the day for me,
Is the Drakes.
those Drakes are the clear winner.
Yeah,
they're the
they're very
best.
good.
They have an awesome flavor. They really do nail the cinnamon and the sugar and the texture. And so even though they're mini muffins and not a cake, you know, they're still the best thing here. Out of all four of these brands, that is the best one here.
Yeah, I agree. I
So-
like it the best. Then I would do the Little Debbie. Then I would do Aldi. And then I would do Hostess. That'd be my order.
Okay, so if somebody was like, oh well, your review is invalid because you can't include mini muffins. Okay, if we're taking the mini muffins out,
Then do the Little Debbie.
then I'm going for Little Debbie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick the Little Debbie over any of the other ones. Yeah. So whoever made the request, we appreciate it. It's always fun and eye-opening for us to do. But I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching.